Welcome everyone to another episode of Bruvcast. I'm Raj.
I'm Mick.
So we have a very, very special guest today. I'm super excited. This is our first official guest that we haven't grown up with, right, Mick?
100%. Yeah, that is it,
Yeah.
man.
So super excited for today's conversation. Yeah, I'm going to introduce you all to Rajen from the Homies Kitchen. So Rajen, welcome to Bruvcast. It's great to have you on the pod, man.
Yes, brothers. Thank you for having me. You said special guest. I don't know about special, but I'm honoured to be here as the first non-lifelong friend. So yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah, it's great to have you,
Good
man.
to have
You're
you, man.
definitely, you're definitely a special friend because you've just I was like opportunistic. I was like, bro, do you want to jump on this podcast? You're like, yeah, I'm down, man.
Yeah, why
So
not? You got to say yes to everything, huh?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I asked Raj. I was like, just before we had this, before we started recording earlier today, I was like, oh, so how did you meet Raj? And he was like, bro, I met him at a wedding. At the end of the night, you know how I usually do. After a few, you hug up a random man on the dance floor, and then never let go. I was like, bro, if you're continuously going to be doing this, yeah, then that means all of our guests, yeah, are going to be met on the dance floor by Raj. This guy's going to bring everyone on. But no, it's good, man.
That's where you find all your guests, though, isn't it? Dance floor of an Indian wedding. Like you've got options. You've got options on the dance floor.
That's it, man. So we met at my cousin's wedding in Lonavala in India. So yeah, shout out to Ravi and Emma out in Dubai. Yes. Actually, that's the reason why this is happening, right? Because otherwise we wouldn't have met.
So, for real.
Fellow South London boy.
Yeah, born and raised.
And you guys met all the way in India, yeah? Did you say?
Yeah, in India. Yeah,
India.
It's crazy. Because I think we first met. Was it when we did the Sten party for Ravi and Emma? Did you come to that, Raj? Yeah. We first met there, and then that's it. After a few drinks at Bunga Bunga, everyone became boys, and then you all meet up in India. What was it? Maybe a few months later. And we were out there for a good week, build up to that wedding. You know how Indian weddings are. So, it was just good quality bonding time with the brothers.
Yeah, man,
Nice.
It was good. It was destination weddings, man. That's kind of the standard that you get nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot. I think that was my first destination wedding as well. So,
okay,
it was a good one. It was a good one to go to. Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
Well, welcome once again. Great to have you.
Thank you.
What you been up to?
It's been busy. I just did a food festival. For anyone that doesn't know, I am a chef, or trying to be a chef, as I would like to say. I cook food for a living for people, which is nice. And I just did a food festival. It's about just over a week now, which was crazy. Dream come true. And then, so this week has just been like a come down from there, trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. And just thinking about next steps, really.
Was it your first food festival?
It was my first food festival, to that scale as well, which was crazy. It was a festival called Metopia. Been going on for 10 years now. This was their 10th year, so it's well established. And I went for the first time as a customer last year, and I completely fell in love with it. It was all about just cooking meat over live fire. So it's all barbecue food, smoked food, everything like that. And you've got some of the top chefs from all over the world that come here and cook food for people that are like barbecue enthusiasts, I guess, or food enthusiasts. And after visiting as a fan last year, I told myself, I'm gonna have a spot at this festival one year, and I put it down in my 5-year plan because I thought it's gonna take me some time to build my way up, try and get a bit noticed and stuff. And within a year, I got asked to apply, and it was like an incredible feeling. It was amazing. I'm still riding high on the adrenaline, I think, even though it was last week. It was a dream come true. It was honestly unbelievable experience that I got to do. And absolutely smashed it as well. I couldn't have been proud of me and the team that did it. So that was a bit crazy.
Nice.
Congrats, man.
Nice, congrats.
That's a big. It sounds like a big achievement. So what they reach out to you and they like ask you to apply for it? Is that how? It works?
So that's how it happened with me. One of the event directors reached out to me and said, on Instagram, she DM'd me and said, "Oh, we're just sending out invites for Metopia this year. what's your email address? Would love to send you an invite. So there's me thinking, I've made it to a certain point where I'm getting invited to a food festival, so I don't have to buy a ticket because, boy, when those tickets come out, they go quicker than Beyonce concert. I'm telling you, within 5 minutes, they were sold out. It was crazy. So I thought, okay, nice. Don't have to worry about that. I got the email, opened up the PDF, and it was a PDF of how to apply to become a vendor there. So that was just like my first speechless moment. I was like, no way, like, I completely misread this situation, but in the best way possible. So yeah, I had to submit 3 dishes that I would like to sell there. Then they came over and did a taste test of all 3 dishes. So we cooked all the food. We sat around, had a little talk about each dish. And luckily enough, I think I impressed them with one of them, and they said that they'd love to have me there this year. So
nice.
There I was, yeah.
Sounds like a stringent criteria as well, right? Considering you have to cook those 3 dishes, they come and taste test them as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they put a lot of work into who they select, I believe, because they go to about 4 tastings a day from different restaurants, independents, cooks, all that kind of stuff. So they really do care about what they're going to put on at the festival. So yeah, you have to bring your A game. You have to bring your A game. I think there's a lot of competition out there. So yeah, it's nice to know that I was selected.
Damn. Yeah. Well, that sounds great. I was watching some of your stories as well. It sounds like, it looked like you were having a lot of fun as well.
So much fun. Yeah.
It was like a live food, like a station thing, right? That you were like on a mic or something as well.
Yeah. So it was a 4-day festival, Thursday till Sunday. Thursday and Friday I was there. I was just prepping all my food and stuff. And Saturday I did my service for the dish that I was selling. And that went amazing. That was a lot of fun. Me and the boys had a crazy time. Like, it was just good. Like, everyone was so friendly. Everyone was really complimentary of the food. People were loving it. I loved it. It just, it went perfectly. And then Sunday I got asked to do a live cooking panel. So I created another dish separate to what I was selling, where I'd be on a stage. People that were there on the Sunday could come and sit down and basically listen to you talk through the dish that you're making. And also with the host Sam on stage, who was amazing, because I'd never done a live cooking panel before in my life, let alone just a normal panel. So she guided me through it. We had a little conversation going back and forth while the audience listened. So that was a lot of fun as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Damn, that's crazy.
Cool.
So it wasn't just like a pop-up, right? You were like basically like a ready, steady cook kind of situation.
Yeah, it was like fully immersed in it, like just putting everything to the test from the last like 3 years I've been doing this professionally. It was just like, fight or flight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned 3 years. Actually, Mick, do you want to say something?
I was going to say, how do you deal with that intensity, that pressure of like, it's like a cook along at the end of the day, right? For a period of time as well.
Yeah, pretty much, because we only had, I think, maybe 30 to 45 minutes to get the dish done. And while you're trying to multitask, talking as well to the crowd, making sure you're being quite interactive and stuff. And the best way I dealt with it was just had a beer before. I had to just go get a pint, get a bit of liquid courage. And then, honestly, when I was on stage, like I said, Sam was a great host as well. So it was just really comfortable. And because I was so used to cooking the dish that I was making for the audience, that kind of felt like second nature, and I could just concentrate on talking to them. And I think I did a good job. Everyone that's seen the video on YouTube said I've done a good job. I haven't watched it myself because I just don't want to watch myself back live cooking and talking. But I think it went well.
Nice. No, that sounds really positive, man.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
So you said that, this seems like, it was the ultimate test of the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was scrolling all the way down your feed to like the first post.
Yeah.
I actually remember seeing that first post like years ago. 23rd of July 2020.
Yeah, that's
was when
crazy.
you had your first post.
Yeah.
So what got you to that? Like, when did you decide I'm going to do this? Like, what was your process? What was the ambition? Like, talk us through it.
So I think it started for me, it was during lockdown. So before I even started thinking about doing this professionally, I was at a desk job, 9 to 5, classic, gone uni, gone to an office job, doing marketing for a sports company. And it was good, it was all right, but man, I just wasn't feeling satisfied or fulfilled in my job at all. And then lockdown happened, and being in the marketing department, it was kind of, you're the first department to go in that sense when people were getting made furlough and stuff. So I ended up getting furloughed. So I thought, all right, I've got maybe about 3 months with no work to do now. I'm in lockdown with nothing else to do. I'm still getting paid monthly, which is nice. So what can I use that for and put my energy into something else? And I've always loved cooking. I've been cooking since I was little, and kind of just for fun, for family, for friends, for myself. And I just thought, well, let me just start posting my food on Instagram on my personal account, and people just kind of, like, all my friends and stuff were just like, oh, that looks really good, what's the recipe, etc., etc. So I just thought, I've seen everyone else doing it currently where they're posting their recipes online and sharing it with like the public, and I thought, okay, let me do that as well. I've always kind of liked that kind of creative side of marketing in my other jobs, so if I can do that with food, it should just be a knockout scenario, right?
Yeah.
And then so I just started posting on my personal account, and then I kind of thought, oh, it's getting a bit of traction, let me kind of take it more to a brand side of things where I have a completely separate account and focus just on food and posting recipes and things like that. So then for the first 3 months, I think that's what I was doing because you couldn't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I was really enjoying it. I was getting a lot of love from people. The food was coming out great. I got to eat everything I was making. Like, it was lovely. It was a good time. And then I think after that, the world started opening up again. And I thought, I'm in a position now where I've been made redundant from my other job. So I'm now at this kind of fork in the road where I either carry on with the 9 to 5 life, find a new marketing job, sit down and repeat the same dull processes over and over again, or I figure out a way I can turn my passion for food into a career. And I thought, do you know what? I love doing this cooking business. There's so much more I want to learn and absorb. Let me just apply for some restaurants. And I managed to get a job working in a pizzeria called Party Store Pizza. And they were making Detroit style pizza at the time, which is like, if anyone knows me, I love my pizza. That's one of my favorite foods. As a little kid, it's always been my dream to have a small little pizzeria joint in South London somewhere that kind of replicates the vibe of New York, Brooklyn pizzerias. So I thought, okay, this is perfect for me. I applied, I spoke to the owner. He goes, yeah, come in next week, trial shift, we'll see how you do, and then we'll take it from there. I went in, I'd already kind of, in my 3 months just cooking for Instagram, like played with the idea of pizza. I've made a bit of pizza dough, and it turned out pretty good. So I kind of went in there not worried that I wasn't going to do well, but I was thinking more how the life of someone in a restaurant, kind of how it works, like what you need to know, the lingo, all that kind of stuff, the behind the scenes of the business. So when I had my trial shift, I was shitting myself. I was like, oh man, I know I can cook, but everything else, if I don't look like I'm up to scratch, because I've never been to culinary school or anything, they're just going to laugh me out the door. But I went
hold on. What's the trial? What's the trial shift then? So that's basically them watching you and like judging you going from A to Z.
Not even that. They just they brought me in and they go, all right, we're open for business today. You're going to just do everything the head chef asks you to do, and you just get stuck in. So you're just straight into the kitchen, full on service. Yeah. So I was like, okay. I was just trying to be as productive as possible. I spoke to a few chefs that I'd met through Instagram over lockdown, and I just asked them. I was like, "Yo, I've got this trial shift. Have you got any like tips or pointers of like how I should present myself on my first day?" And I remember this chef Dom Taylor, who's on Instagram. I remember specifically asking him, and he just said, "Listen, just be proactive. Write down what you need to write down, and just be calm and enjoy it." And so that's what I did. And honestly, it was the calmest trial shift I've ever done in my life, because everyone was just super chill. Like, making the pizza how they make it is such a like slow, patient process, because we made big batches of dough that would ferment for 24 hours in the fridge overnight. The sauce takes about a couple of hours to make. So everyone was kind of just taking their time and really taking care of the ingredients they were cooking. And it just turned out that like they're just also brothers. Like, the head chef was an Arsenal fan, loved his hip hop. I was like, yeah, me too. Arsenal fan, love my hip hop. Everyone else. So it was just really cool. It just we just bonded straight away in that first, I think it was an 8-hour shift I did. And then the owner just called me back maybe the next day, I think it was, and said, "When can you start? What kind of hours do you want?" Etc. etc. And I was like, "Just get me in, give me as much as you can. I want to learn everything. I want to be there. I had so much fun. I could do this for however long I see myself doing it for." And I got the job, and I started working in a pizzeria. Yeah.
Nice. I mean,
wow.
You mentioned you weren't worried about obviously the cooking side of things. You were worried about fitting into the actual environment, because obviously you come from an office background, right? 9 to 5, and then you're going into an environment where, it's just for you, it's like, it's very new, obviously, right? So how did you deal with that? How did you embed yourself into that new environment?
Yeah, it was a tricky one, because and even now, I kind of feel sometimes a little bit of imposter syndrome that creeps up every now and then, because I haven't been in the industry as long as other people that I've met along the way. And also I'm quite old compared to when people first start. And I think I just had to keep telling myself and reminding myself that, like, it's fine, as long as you're doing what you love and you work hard. That's all people care about in the kitchen. Like, that you take care, you do your job. Yeah. You're a team at the end of the day, and you have to support each other. And if you can do that, you'll fit in just fine. Like, if you're there for each other to do everything and help each other out, you'll be just fine. So it kind of wasn't too different in the end when I think about it. Like, when you're in an office job and you have your team and you're working towards a campaign or a target, you do have some similarities there, except this is just a lot more hands-on. There's a lot more labor involved, and I've always kind of been that person, is if there's something to do, just get on and do it. And if they see that, they kind of accept you as well. That's from my experience anyway. I've worked in 3 different spots now, and each time has been great, quite easy to fit in, to be fair.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to 2 imposters as well, because we are not podcasters, so we definitely know that feeling.
Mate, it creeps up on you, doesn't it?
It does, man. It does. Yeah. And do you know what? It's like you're trying to, 9 to 5. We're behind the desk, obviously typing emails, etc. Right? You know what it's like, and then you're into this like content creating world, which, to be fair, for me, it's like for me, it's completely new. Like I'm always been a reserved person, so for me to, like, Raj saw something in doing this together, right? So for us, it was like, you know what, he's seen something, and when he's got an idea, he goes with it, and then he'll make you believe that, you know what, no, we can do this. Does that make sense? So it's nice to.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So it's just,
So was it Raj that convinced you, like, let's get the headphones out?
It's how it is, man. It's how it is. It's like, bruv, should we get one more drink? Bruv, let's do it. It starts from that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It's like, just come out for one. And then the next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. and you're walking down the streets of London karaokeing away.
One more drink, bro.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think when that kind of feeling creeps up, it's always good to have someone by your side that kind of anchors you and supports you, right?
Yeah.
Like how you had Raj pushing you, like, let's do this podcast, like, it'll be great. And look how far you guys have come already in such a short space of time. I think for me, it was, definitely my missus. She was the one that kind of pushed me to quit the day job and just pursue this full time. I've had great support from friends and family and stuff. So it kind of makes me feel that, like, what I'm doing is what I should be doing.
Did you just so you mentioned like the support from the friends and family? Were there any people that when you said, "Oh yeah, I'm deciding to just go full on into this career,"
Yeah.
did you get any like raised eyebrows or from certain people where we just like, "Oh okay, there's like certain people who expect a kind of cultural old school mentality of like,
Yeah.
oh well, this is the kind of thing that you should be doing, and all of a sudden they hear, oh no, I'm going to go and be a chef.
Yeah,
Like,
do you know what?
how did you deal with that when that happened?
That was one thing that did cross my mind, because, like, it's quite unconventional in our community, isn't it? And especially, I think, like, not... I know that there's some great Indian chefs out there that do some fantastic work, but for me and the kind of community I grew up in and like the area I grew up in, it wasn't like that at all. I've hardly grown up knowing people that kind of did an unconventional job. You've always had people that have gone into like business and finance, or doctors, pharmacists, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, it crossed my mind a few times, like, am I doing the right thing? Because this is so unknown, and is it going to be easy for people to understand the choices that I've made to go and pursue this professionally? And honestly, I can't say that I've heard a bad word or a doubt since
Nice.
I've told people. Like, my friends and family are super supportive. Like, they can see I love what I do, and like, I think I'm very blessed to have people like that won't kind of raise that eyebrow. I've had people that will kind of question what I'm doing to help me see things from a different perspective, but not in like a negative light, just to help me be more successful in a sense. So like, it's great. It's a great support system. It's a great community that I have, and can't be more blessed to have that, to be fair.
And when you've got that, obviously it gives you that, you don't need to worry about that. It's like a drug at the end of it, right? It just propels
100%.
you to everything else that you need to be, so you can focus on what you need to be obviously doing, right? So no, that's really good to have that support
100%.
system.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really important.
Yeah, I think there was a little... I think there's been a few comments from my mom at some stages like, oh, are you sure you're going to be making enough money from this? Like, oh, how are you going to afford this if you're going to do that? But it's all like, that's just like a mother's concern, isn't it? Like, she's always going to question everything and anything you do for the rest of your life. So I was never worried about it. I was just like, yeah, that's just classic mom. It's been happening for 33 years. Yeah. Why is it going to change now? Do you know what I mean?
She's just worried, isn't it, to make sure that you're going to be okay. It's not coming from it's coming from a good place of love, from a motherly, from obviously from your mom, innit? So it's not like, if it came from outside, then it's like, okay, you're questioning me, you're doubting me, kind of thing, right? But when it comes from your mom, it's like 100%. Genuine worry, isn't it, that we always get?
Yeah.
But no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So you said that you loved cooking from like day one. Do you remember the first dish you ever tried to make, or do you remember like something that you like used to like making as you were when you were young and just kind of learning your craft?
Yeah. Do you know what? This is gonna sound so dumb, but when I was younger, like I remember the first thing that I did try to make was scrambled eggs, and they were shocking. Like, I fully overcooked them. They were rubbery, but I thought this was the best thing in the world at the time because I was so young. I was like, hell yeah, man, I made scrambled eggs. Like, this shit is easy. And then as I grew older and learned a lot more, and like watching chefs on TV and like doing my own research and eating out and stuff, I'm like, hold on a minute. What on earth did I make when I was younger? Thinking like I was so good at this. I remember, probably the first thing was scrambled eggs. And then from there, I was just like, let's carry on. Let's just see what else we can make. And I think
Did that whole scrambled egg kind of experience, like, did it ignite something in you to take up, to have a passion of, obviously cooking and experimenting, etc.?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Nah,
Man
you
was
know
just
what?
making
It was-
breakfast. He was just making
Yeah,
breakfast.
I was just hungry one day and I was like, all right, let me try and make the scrambled eggs. I've seen my dad do it plenty of times. Like, it looks easy enough.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go for it. But to answer the question, I think more specifically, I remember the first curry I made. And I think that's what ignited the passion. Because my mama, he makes this mean desi chicken curry, and we always used to go to Camden every now and then. All the cousins and the family used to get together, and we'd just be on our way up. We'd just be like, what's on the menu today? What's mama made? Is it the Jura chicken wings or is it the chicken curry? If it's the chicken curry, the cousins will sit down at the table. We never used to have it with broccoli or anything. We just used to have it with slices of white bread.
Yeah.
And it was the chicken curry is unmatched for me. It's just so good. I think it's been a family recipe for such a long time. And that when I started to think about how I could push myself more in the kitchen, that was the dish that popped in my mind to be like, if I can make that really well, then I know like this is going to be a lot of fun. And so I tried a version of it for the first time, and it took me maybe about 4 hours. I was like there chopping the onions and then cooking them down for about an hour and a half until they're nice and like brown and caramelized, and then put everything together. And it was a full-on labor of love, but it was 4 hours of my life that I was like, this is the most content and calm I've ever felt. Like, I wasn't thinking about anything else. I was just concentrating on making this curry as perfect as I can, and it came out so good. Definitely become a lot better at it now, but for the time that I was cooking, I think I was in my like early teens or something like that when I first tried it, and I think that's what sparked it. I was like, okay, now what can we cook next? The curry was good, let's cook a different curry, or like let's just try and make what you love when you eat out at restaurants, we'll make it at home. So then started doing pastas and then pizzas, and then we started cooking like chicken wings and all that. And then as I grew older and my palate developed a lot more and my knowledge about food and what I liked and what I disliked became a lot more complex, I started trying all the more complex dishes and stuff. And so naturally, it's just evolved over time. And now I feel like I'm at a place where I can learn a lot as well as put what I've learned from those past years into all the dishes that I create now, which is nice.
Nice. Do you ever dabble in like traditional Indian food as well?
Like Kepler.
So do you know what? I'm so scared to like touch the Indian breakfast side of like tikki puri and thepla and bakri and all that, because no one, like, I don't think anything can beat how my mom or my ba would make it. And if I try it, like,
sacred. It's sacred,
yeah,
right?
it's sacred, isn't it? Do you know what? I just need to grow a pair of balls and just do it, because like if I can make pizza dough and all this kind of stuff, like what am I shying away for? But in terms like the vegetarian Indian food, because when you go to a wedding and you have the guji meal after the Indian ceremony, and you just got that classic, you got the butter dana shak, the khichdi curry, or you've got the gachori and all that. So I've been dabbling in that sometimes to see how it comes out, but nothing beats it. But do you know why it is? Because I just don't use as much ghee as they probably do.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, man.
With the amount I cook, if I'm using ghee to that amount in every single dish that I make, my heart has had it, bro.
Yeah.
So I know I could probably do a good job, but at the moment I go for that healthier option just because, the ghee is a powerful thing for the heart.
Nah, fair play. Kryptonite, innit?
Yeah.
Kryptonite.
Yeah, 100%. But it's good though, isn't it?
Yeah, it does, man. It does.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Do you have like an experiment that you tried when you're making food that was just like you thought it was going to go one way, but then ended up going a completely different direction?
Yeah. Oh man, one of them was I started to try and pickle different fruits, and you know when we have like Deplan stuff, we've got the mango chutney that we always eat.
Atano, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of atano, and I was thinking, what if it was mango season as well? So I had this whole box of Alfonso mangoes, and I had some pineapple as well, and I think some watermelon too. So I just go, all right, let me just try pickling this and see how it comes out. Because if I can get that nice like sweet sour balance, when we have Deplan stuff, we can have like the fresh stuff with it, and it could be quite nice. So I planned out my pickle liquid, chopped everything up, put it in, let it sit for maybe about 3 days in the fridge. And I was like, all right, time to try it. I went to the fridge, I had the mango, and oh my God, it was disgusting. It was so hard. I got the formula so wrong. I put way too much salt and vinegar in the pickling liquid, so that when you just bit into it, it was just like, it was like one of those exploding gummy sweets, but all that came out of it was just vinegar and salt. And I was like, yeah, nah, this ain't the one. So I was like, all right, back to the drawing board for that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I feel like as a chef, that is part of your job, right? Like part of what you do is experiment all the time, and failure is just a part of the process, right?
Yeah, most definitely. It's just all about learning as you go, as well as like putting practices of techniques and stuff into place. But if you have an idea, you've just got to, it's just like an itch that you've got to scratch. Yeah. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, like you said, if it doesn't, you'll just go back, you'll tweak the recipe, figure out what was missing. I think the main thing is that I've learned is with dishes, you've always got to be conscious of the elements of like sweetness, sourness, spice, salt, fat. So if you get a nice balance of that, then you know you can create a good dish with any ingredients that you're using. So if something's a little bit off, I just kind of say to myself, what one of those elements is missing, and how can I then incorporate that into the dish to just rebalance it out. And that kind of helps a lot with figuring out what went wrong, to be fair, and just making sure that you don't undercook your chicken and stuff and give everyone salmonella. That's like the big sin, isn't it? It's raw. It's fucking raw.
Avocado luggage.
That's the one thing you don't want.
That reminds me, I once went to a wedding, right? And my uncle, he was complaining about the badeda. He was like, badeda is not legit, right?
Yeah.
Bruv, the guy that was serving it, he was like, no, they're fine. He put his hand inside the thing that they were serving, and like it was like squashing them. And he was like, no. If they were, he was like, if they were bad, then I wouldn't be able to squash them. I was like, that is rank.
Right.
Why are you doing that in front of
Oh my God, that's one way of show and tell, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Some of them don't care. Absolute savages. And then he probably put it on the guy's plate after as well. Like, you're holding up my line. That's crazy.
That.
Yeah.
Extra taste. Oh,
how can he say the potatoes weren't legit? Like, what's he looking for? Like a medium rare, or a well done? Like, it's a potato. Like, you're not gonna mess it up.
He's going for that roasted. He wanted the roasted potatoes, man.
Yeah, maybe he was looking for that Christmas dinner vibe, huh? I don't think that's quite reached the Indian weddings yet, though, has it?
So we have a segment. A newly evolving segment on the podcast now, which is Share the Struggle, Find the Funny,
Nice.
where we basically talk to each other about like random struggles that we have. And it could be anything from like finding a parking space to like, I don't know what to do with all these cardboard boxes, which is Miguel's probably his favorite one. Yeah, Rajen, do you have a struggle that you want to share? And is there any funny that you found in it?
Okay, so when you asked me this earlier, yeah, it's funny. When you asked me this earlier, I was thinking, what's one of my struggles? And I was thinking that you're going to ask me how it's related to being a cook. So I was thinking to myself, I haven't really struggled with anything so far.
I've just been a success.
Yeah, no, not even that.
It's a trajectory.
Yeah, it's just been going
Believe
up
it,
and up. I was like, oh, maybe struggle's the wrong word. I just started overthinking everything. I was like, oh no, do you know what? When they ask me this, I'm going to say, it's not been a struggle, but I've learned a lot of lessons, and here's an example, blah, blah, blah. Now that you've said that this is the segment, I'm like, shit, I've completely misread this situation as well. So,
don't worry,
do you know
it
what?
won't be the first time, man, that someone's that. I always like that as well when Raj told me about this segment. But no, sorry, man, sorry to cut you off. Go for it.
Are you guys going to give a struggle as well? Or is it just me?
It's just you today, man.
It's all about you, bro.
Okay. Alright, just off the top of my head, struggle with a funny.
Anything.
Do you know what? Okay, I got one. So, me and the missus have recently moved into our own home. We're finally homeowners. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it. It's and it's a beautiful place. But do you know what? Since I've lived at home, like with my parents for a long time as well, always used to get nagged at for like, why is this not clean? Why is this not being done in the house? How long is it going to take you to do this? And I would used to just sit there and I used to like argue with my mom so much, like, why are you making such a big deal out of this? I'll do it when it gets done, right? Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I will put that pile of washing in the wash later. Right now, I've got something else to do. I've got time. I don't need the clothes right away or anything like that. And now, used so many arguments. And now that we live in our own house, the struggle is this house always needs a damn clean. Like, and we're not even in it half the time. And somehow it just starts getting filthy, dusty. There's stuff that needs to be wiped, dusted, things that have been put away, and I don't even know how they got there in the first place. I'm like, why did I buy a house if 90% of the time I'm cleaning it and only 10% of the time I'm on the sofa just chilling? It's too, no one gives you that warning. Everyone's like, oh yeah, be careful, mortgage rates, all that. Nah, be careful, you'll be cleaning the rest of your life.
You are. That is a good struggle. I think that's a common struggle as well, right? When I first moved into my place, same struggle. When my missus said to me, do you know when you like finish dinner and you like, you know, you hand your mum the plate because they're already there. They're not going to let you wash your plate. And then she goes, what are you doing? I was like, she goes, you better start washing these plates, man. We didn't have a dishwasher at that point. I was like, oh shit, what is going on? And the clothes needed to be put away. Yeah, it's true, man. It's so true. It's just like, you know, no one tells you, you know, it's all great. You know, you've got your own space and, you know, no one can tell you what to do. But actually, there is someone to tell you what to do. And it's those four walls, basically, that get filthy every few weeks, basically, that you need to, or every few days.
100%. Yeah.
And
do you know what? There's always something. There's always the little things, right? Like, and because I'm at home, like, if I'm at home cooking and stuff, even, like, I'm trying to be focused on what I've got to do for the day, for that. But then things will just catch my eye in the corner and I'll get distracted because I'll be like, I better go and do that quickly. So even then, half my time is still just cleaning the house during the week. It's mad.
How are you in the kitchen though? Are you someone who, when you're making something, do you wash after you use each thing, or do you just kind of let it all pile up and then have like a big wash at the end? Like, what's the process?
So I think some people that may listen to this later on will disagree with what I'm about to say. But I think I'm pretty good in the kitchen. I will put my hands up and admit that I used to be quite messy. I would have a habit of like taking every utensil out the drawer to use it and then just keep it in the sink for the end of the day. But after a few comments by the missus and all of that, I have learned that, do you know what? It's easier to wash up as I go along. So I'm pretty good now. Like, if I'm doing stuff, and this just came with practice as well, that when I'm making recipes now, that I know where I have certain time frames where I don't need to be doing anything. So instead of just scrolling through Instagram or just like dossing around and shit, I'll wash up the stuff that's in the sink so that by the end of it, I kind of like to have especially now being a homeowner as well, I like to have everything clean. I don't like the mess. So, I've changed my attitude, and will say that I'm really good in the kitchen now. Everything is spotless. I don't leave anything lying around, but I may slip up every now and then, which is fine.
Do you know what? We should do a video. If we had a vodcast, everyone could see how proud Rajen is. Like, he was sitting there, big smile, and saying, I'm sick. I'm sick now, man.
I'm clean.
You know what? It's a big thing, especially when you get called up on it week by week. To now say, look at me now. Yeah, look at me now. It's clean. Now what?
So I want to go back to one of the things that you were saying, where you were basically breaking down, like, if you're making a dish, then you can look at the salt and the fat and like different kind of characteristics or criteria.
Yeah.
Do you, if you're going to someone's house to have a meal and you're not feeling the food for whatever reason, or you're like, or you feel like, nah, I could add this to it and it will taste so much better. Do you hold yourself back in like giving that feedback to the other person, or do you just kind of like let it rip? What's the process?
Normally I'm pretty chill, because for me, like, I'm a fan of food, right? So, and I feel food is very subjective. Everyone's got their own taste. Everyone will like to cook something in a certain way or eat something in a certain way. So I think there's this, in my opinion, I think there's this kind of almost stereotype where if you're a cook or a chef or something, that when you go to other people's homes and eat their food, that you're going to be expecting like the best meal of your life and all this kind of stuff. And you always get the little comments, don't you? Like, how is it?
Rajen.
Yeah. That always happens. Like, I bet it's nothing like what you make, innit, at home. Like, I bet it's not even that good compared to what you do. And I'm most of the time, I'm like, do you know what? Nah, this is delicious. As for me, if they've cooked it the way they want to serve it to you, I'm open-minded by it. As long as it's not undercooked or something that's like totally gross, which very rarely is anyway, because we're not like out here just trying weird food combinations for fun, are we? Then I'm happy with it. I'm probably one of the people that will just eat it, say nothing, and just be like, it's delicious at the end of the meal. Yeah. The people you got to watch out for is like all the aunties and the elders, innit? Like, can I have a bit more salt, or why don't you try doing it with this and that? And like, they proper dissect your dish down and tell you how you should make it for next time. They're the ones that don't hold back. But for me, I like to sit in my chair. I'll eat a meal that's been cooked for me, because I'm sure people have gone through a lot of effort as well in making it. And I just think most of the time it's delicious. If it's disgusting, I'll be like, yeah, dude, you need to cook this a little bit longer or something like that. But to be fair, everywhere I go, people are very good cooks as well. And I just have, I don't have anything bad to say about what I've eaten recently. I don't think,
Do you feel, now that you're a chef, do you feel like whenever you go to someone's house, there is this added pressure that you can sense from them because you're coming over to eat? I'm not lying to you. If you came to my house to eat, I'd get my chef's hat out. I'd pretend like I cooked it, but obviously my missus would have cooked it. If you say something good about it, then I cooked it. If it's bad, they'd be like...
Do you think you would feel the pressure if I came round?
100%.
I would feel it. I'd feel it. Of course, bruv.
For what reason?
I was scrolling through. I'll tell you the reason. I'll tell you the reason, bruv. I was scrolling through your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And everything looks beautiful. Yeah. Every single thing that you have there is like a work of art. So if I'm coming to if you're coming to my house, I'm worried about how it tastes, and I'm even more worried about how it looks. So I'll be sweating, man.
Even. You got to remember though. That's for Instagram though, isn't it? Like, you plate it up nice, you take a picture, but if you look at my plate after I've done taking the picture, it's like me at a Chinese buffet or like world food buffet. I've got like 70 different cuisines all on one plate, just piled up massive, and I'm just ready to eat.
What do you do after you take, like, because there's like a lot of those pictures, right? Are you just like preparing that, taking the picture, and then like just kind of on to the next one, or are you Like, do you eat it off? Do you eat every single one of those dishes that you plate up? Like, what's the
Yeah,
process?
100%.
Nice.
I put a lot of time into it. I'm eating it, no questions asked. I'll block out like half an hour of my day, and I'll eat the food and I'll enjoy it. I'll have some me time. But yeah, definitely. So for the most part, it'll either be me eating it, or it will be what me and the missus will have for dinner, or if I've got, so she doesn't eat red meat. So if I'm cooking something red meat, like if I'm cooking a whole leg of lamb or something like that, I will have mine for my dinner. I'll keep some for lunch the next day, and then the rest of it, I'll just see if anyone else wants it. I'll either drop it off to my parents or my sister and her boyfriend, see if any of the boys want it, and just hand it out and just be like, here. No one's going to say no to free food, are they?
No, definitely not, man.
Yeah.
Do you have this thing where you just get tired of eating your own food that you've cooked?
So I think sometimes, like, if it's a long day, if I have a catering job,
Yeah.
and I've been like prepping for 3 days or whatnot, and I've done the job, and it comes to like the next day where I'm just exhausted, I'm just like, nah, I'm not cooking. I can't do it. So either I'll have whatever Smita makes, or I'll just order something in. But for the most part, it's, yeah, if I'm doing a whole day of recipe testing as well, I'll eat a bit of the food as I go along, because you're always, when you're cooking, you're always tasting things, trying things, making sure you're on the right track. So even when it comes to having a sit-down meal at the end of the evening, I'm already kind of like 3/4 of the way full, so I'm not even that hungry, to be fair.
Yeah.
So something like light and easy would be nice. It just depends on the mood, really.
Yeah, no, fair play.
Yeah.
What's your signature dish?
Oof. Do you know what? Now that I've done Metopia, I have to say it's my smoked tandoori lamb ribs. Because,
Nice.
That sounds good.
oh,
Making my mouth
dude,
water.
they came out so good. I'll have to send you boys some for having me on the show. Well, like,
Yeah,
we
no.
paid with thanks, innit? But yeah, I think that's probably going to have to be my signature dish now for a while. But before that, it was, what got me started, what kind of helped me, I don't know, I wouldn't say put me on the map or anything like that, because I'm just a small fish in a big pond. But I started making this masala lamb barbacoa for tacos, and everyone that I've given that to has nothing but nice words to say about it. They absolutely love it. So I think if we're going back to the roots of kind of like the first dish that rocked people's worlds, it would be that. It would be slow cooked lamb shoulder and all these masala spices, but using techniques of Mexican cooking, all within a taco with a salsa verde and some freshly chopped onions. Unreal.
It's 10 o'clock and I've
you're
had my
hungry.
food.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
I'm hungry,
You're
bro.
hungry.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Dude, honestly, every conversation I have with people about food, it always almost ends with, "You've made me hungry."
How did you come up with that recipe? Like, because that was all you, right?
Yeah, so it was just, so kind of when people ask, what is it that you specialize in cooking, I kind of say that I cook Indian food, but it's kind of I just learned this term recently at Metopia, third culture cooking, where I've taken food from two different cultures, in this instance Mexico and India, and kind of married them together. So in Mexico there's this dish called pozole, which is like a stew, and it's a really thin sauce compared to a thick curry sauce, and it's got all this like slow braised meat inside, and you dress it with fresh ingredients like lettuce, radish. You can put a bit of chili oil, salsa macha in there if you want, and then also with my love for lamb curry as well, because who doesn't love a good lamb curry that just melts in your mouth as you're eating it with a bit of naan. I just thought, what would happen if I kind of take those cooking techniques and a few ingredients from Mexico and merge it with the cooking techniques of how I would make lamb curry and the ingredients there as well and see what happens. And I made it and it came out phenomenal, because mainly just because I think Indian and Mexican food culture is very similar. The spices we use, some of the cooking techniques, down to the basics of when, say, if they have a taco dish, it's tortilla, meat, salsa, onions, coriander. And for us, when we eat Indian food, if we're having a curry, for example, we'll either have naan or rotli with the curry, always freshly sliced onions, some dana to go with it, and maybe a chutney or chili sauce or mint sauce or like raita or something. Yeah. So I was like, shit, these are very similar in the way we eat, the way we present things, and we're all about bringing tons of dishes together that people can sit around a table and share and hand out to each other, and it's all a big, it's a communal way of eating. So after that, I just started exploring other things that were similar, and I kind of came up with this recipe, and it just worked really well in terms of Indian flavors, Indian cooking techniques, Mexican cooking techniques, and then put it all in a taco, and it was really good. It was delicious, and people seem to love it. So I feel like I did the Mexican Indian cuisine justice with that one, which is nice, because you rarely see that here in the UK as well.
Yeah.
And I think there's definitely room for it, because you can make some really good food by mixing the two cultures. I'm going to be excited to start exploring that a bit more as well.
So one thing that you said, which was quite interesting, was you had a 5-year plan, and you went to Meatopia, and you're like, I'm going to be back here, and I'm going to be here like as a chef. You did it within that, right? So what is your 5-year plan? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, what does Homie's Kitchen look like? Even 3 years from now?
Yeah. That was my 5-year plan. It was only one thing that was on there.
You've come full circle. All right.
I don't know what else to do now.
You need to find the next mountain thing. Now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to be honest, with the 5-year plan, it's just, a lot of it is just kind of all about growing, just getting better, honing my craft, figuring out what specifically I love to cook, and maybe specialize in that. And ever since I've done, or even just before Meatopia, I think my kind of mindset is going towards like live fire cooking, because I was watching Chef's Table, the barbecue edition on Netflix, and there was this chef called Lennox Hasty. He's a chef out in Australia, and he was talking about how cooking over fire is like the most primitive way of cooking. Like, we've done it for thousands of years. It's the most natural way of cooking, and it's the best way to get the most out of your ingredients and all that added flavor from the smoke and the charcoal. And that really like kind of stuck with me, and I try to think about how that relates to cooking in Indian cuisine. And obviously we have the tandoor, and like the kind of hibachi grills where we'll make our kebab rolls, we'll do the shish kebabs, chicken tikka, we'll make naan in the tandoor and stuff. So even like within our culture, it's not always just curries, rice, rotli. There's a whole element of cooking with coal and fire. So I think in my 5-year plan, it's going to be a lot of like diving deep into that world and seeing what we can kind of create for our culture using just fire, smoke, all that kind of stuff. And then in terms of professionally, I would love to just do supper clubs and pop-ups, to be honest, like work with other great chefs, work with other great restaurants, and just create menus where everything that I like teach myself and learn along the way, I'll be able to just share that with the public. Because this is why I kind of got into it in the first place. I just wanted to feed the people, feed the homies essentially, I love cooking for people. I love how food can change the mood of someone instantly. Like if you've come home from a shit day of work, but then you come home to a nice plate of food and it just cheers you up instantly. I love the fact that I have the opportunity to deliver that for someone. So for the next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years, just want to be doing more of that, to be honest. And I'm trying to stay as open-minded as possible, as well as having a few set goals. Like now I've done Metopia within the 5 years. The next target is to get called back for a second year, which will be nice. Maybe do a few pop-ups and supper clubs each year. And yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing. Any opportunities that come along, stay open-minded, say yes to, and you never know where it can take you. Like there's so many branches to this industry, which is what I love about it as well. Like one day you could be doing a pop-up, the next day you could be on your mate's farm learning about how they rear pigs and how your meat is made and processed and delivered to you, which I think is really important as well. I'm learning. Nothing specific, but be open-minded, see where it takes you, ride the wave, all that kind of jazz. Yeah.
No, nice. Wow. I think it's good to be open-minded like that, and I think you've got your feet under the table now with that process as well, right? It seems that way, that the sky's the limit. I know you've come full circle already with the original plan, but definitely from what you're saying, there's a lot of inspiration to take for anyone who's trying to test out and execute exactly what you've done.
Yeah, definitely. I believe so. Yeah, it's good. I mean, yeah, you just got to be open-minded, really, isn't it? Because you never know where life is going to take you. Like, look at you guys, you got a podcast now.
It's true.
It's true.
It's crazy though. Like, if you like 3 years ago, like you started all of this, and hearing you talk about it, it's obvious that you're like, this is your passion, and you're living and breathing this. If you were to go back, to that moment that you started, what would you tell yourself, if anything different to how you were thinking about it, what your outlook was, or what your approach was?
I think it would be, that's a good question. I would tell myself just to have a bit more self-confidence and belief that if you're putting in the hard work, you will do a good job. You'll find happiness in it, and you'll see the success that you want to see. Because I definitely did, especially in the beginning stages. Like you said, how you scrolled, the funny story, how you scrolled all the way to my original post back in July 2020. That original introduction video, I was so nervous about making it, because it was kind of like, am I going to be doing the right thing with this? Is it going to be what I'm hoping it will be? So in that video, I take a shot at the end of the video to salute to good luck. I took so many takes of that introductory speech, and throughout the process, every time I restarted, I didn't want to have to pretend that I'm taking the shot after and like put apple juice in there or something. So every single time was rum. It was, and I got absolutely hammered off of it. I've got maybe about 20 clips of me recording that introduction. The bottle of rum was finished, and by the end of the day, so I recorded this the whole day because I was so nervous that it wasn't coming out how I wanted it to come out. By the end of it, the last clips, I'm like slurring my words, I'm making mistakes, all of this. I was battered. And the bottle of rum had finished, and I had to call it a day. I was like, I can't carry on. Like, I'm slurring, my mind is like, my head's getting all blurry now. Yeah. So I had to go sleep. I had an absolute breakdown about it. And then Maurice was like, come on, you've got this, you just got to believe in yourself. I was like, cool, I'm going to bed. I'm just going to drink this pint of water, get into bed. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, all right, I've got to do this now. I do not want to repeat yesterday. I can't get battered 2 days in a row just recording an introduction video. And I managed to do it on the first take. Nice. And that's the one I posted. So it's definitely, yeah, if I was to tell myself going back to that moment, just have a bit more belief and self-confidence in yourself. Because if you put in the hard work and like you say, you see the passion that I have, I feel it as well a lot, especially in recent months, that you know you can achieve what you set your mind to. So just stop doubting yourself, really.
When you have those moments where like the confidence is like waning, how do you get yourself out of it? How do you snap yourself out of it? Like what's your
Drink
process?
Another bottle of rum. Pretty much. Nah, do you know what? I've started to. I'm someone that has a lot of thoughts running through my head all the time. Like I just don't stop thinking about shit, and I get distracted quite easily with other thoughts as they come along. So, and that's what starts to hit my confidence, because I'm trying to concentrate on one thing and really like excel at that, but then something else will creep in, and then I kind of leave that half finished, and so I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this right. Like, how can I get better at this and stuff? So I've started to just write everything down that comes into my head as on the spot, where if it's on the notes on my phone, or I've got a planner where I write everything down, and I kind of structure my day out, so that whenever I have that feeling of low confidence or something like that, I'll go back through my notes or my planner. I'll look at exactly what I've got coming up in the next few days or the next week, where I can sort out how I'm feeling, and I can make a proactive plan to get rid of that feeling and take a couple more steps forward to just be a bit more proactive. So that's helped a lot. And then also, yeah, again, just the support system. Like, I got people that I can talk to, and they really just give me a kick up the arse. Like, my missus is she's a proper advocate for tough love, which I think I need a lot. Like, she's just like, do you know what? Just grow up. Like, you've got this. What are you being such a bitch about? And I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I'm like, you're right. Like, I can do this. So it just goes hand in hand. So I think I can, like, it doesn't go away. Like, there's always those times where it does creep in, but I have those mechanisms that help me cope, and it's working so far. So yeah, it's been really helpful.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're absolutely smashing it, man. Like, you've seeing how far you've come, seeing how, you know, you planned this, and this was like everything that you kind of worked towards has just recently, you know, come full circle. It
Definitely
sounds like and looks like, you know, all of that work is paying off, and whatever mechanisms that you have are like really working for you. So yeah, it's inspirational, man.
Definitely.
No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
It's the bottles of rum in it, keeping him grounded 100%. And
humble. It is. If Dead Man's Fingers want to give me a little sponsor, I'll be more than happy.
Shout out, man. Shout out.
It's good rum.
So we're rounding up now. So we're gonna do some lightning round questions. I didn't pre-prep you on these ones, so we're gonna see. I've got some of them written down. Like, me and Mick have brainstormed a few of them. Mick, yeah. I'll take the first few, and then you want to take the rest, or you want to just go like off your top of your head?
Do you know what? No, you go, man. You go.
All right, I'll do a few, and then Mick will take over. Okay. All right. And just the first one, right? The first one that comes. All right. Pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
Nah.
No. All right. Rasmalai or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Tepla or parota?
Tepla, but it has to be spicy.
Favorite dish of all time?
Desi chicken curry.
Most underrated item on the menu?
Ooh, tricky one. Good question. Underrated. See, if you had said overrated, I would have gone.
All right, go on. Overrated.
Truffle.
Overrated.
Anything that has truffle on, like truffle fries, truffle mac and cheese, but it's not like real truffle. It's the truffle oil that they use, because that shit's overpowering. But
okay, underrated.
Underrated. Ooh, oxtail.
Go-to dessert.
Panna cotta.
Tupac or Biggie?
No, you can't do that one, man.
Oh, yeah.
That one's so tough. I have a set answer for this. Whenever it asks me, I'm like, if I'm in a party mood, I'm bumping Biggie all day. But if I'm by myself and like late night drives, I'm bumping Tupac. But funnily enough, neither of them are in my top 5 rappers.
So neither.
Neither, yeah.
Nah, yeah, they're in my top 10, but not top 5.
All-time favorite chili sauce.
Cold sauce, the mango habanero one. Shout out my boy Drew that makes the best cold sauce and hot sauce in the game.
Oh, nice.
Mick.
This one I've never heard of. Might have to do some research on that one, Raj, yeah?
Go get some. It's so good.
Yeah.
He uses the Alfonso mangoes when they're in season.
Yeah.
So it's like really nice and sweet, but then it hits you with a nice heat, which is like so good. It's really delicious.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be on a level of Tupac and Biggie, yeah? Because I'm going to ask you, Henri or Bergkamp? Henri or Bergkamp?
Henri all day.
Henri? Oh, that was easy, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, all day. I mean, I love the Iceman, but Thierry Henry was like my favorite player. It still is my favorite player. I could watch his clips all day, man.
Yeah, legend. Jordans or Air Maxes?
Jordans. They were the trainers that I always wanted as a kid, but I could never afford them. And now that I can afford them, I still can't get them because of these fucking raffles that you have to enter. So
I tried to get up at 8 in the morning the other day, yeah, to actually get up, and I got up and they were gone within. I was like, man, what are these people doing? Like, have they got some kind of?
Isn't it?
It's impossible.
Yeah.
All right, favorite spice to cook with that you just can't cook without, basically.
Chili powder, yeah,
Nice.
all types, jalapeno, Kashmiri, Deji Merch, all of it, yeah, so good. All the Mexican chilies, yeah, anything chili powder.
Meat liquor burger or gourmet burger kitchen?
I'm going meat liquor on that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the dead hippie burger, delicious.
Good call. That's me, man. That's me.
All right, so we are at time now, but again, I'm going to give a shout out to Middle Fingers Up because I'm just going to be inspired by how she was moderating our session.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything, Rajen, that you would like to talk about or you would like to discuss or mention or shout out that we didn't cover in the time today? Anything any other things that are coming to mind for you?
Nah, do you know what? I think I'm just grateful I was on the podcast chatting to you two lovely geezers. It was a great opportunity just to have a chat and just talk about what I've been doing for the past 3 years, which I never thought I'd be doing in my life, which is just it's fantastic. If anyone wants to just follow the journey, then you just follow my Instagram. I just put everything up on there about my life, the recipes that I develop, any pop-ups and stuff that I have going on. Just follow the journey and just say what's up. It's always good to chat to people. If anyone has any questions about food, I'm always happy to answer. Apart from that, thank you for having me, guys. I think you covered everything and more.
No, thank you for sharing your journey with us, and thank you for taking the time to come on. It was really great.
I appreciate it.
And inspiring to hear.
It makes a change. It makes a change from cleaning the house. I can just spend an hour just like
you got your get out of jail free card today. You're like, no, I'm on a podcast. I can't do it.
He's gonna
you wish it was get out of jail free. As soon as headphones come off, I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna check the kitchen, make sure I've tidied up and everything.
Creep out the room.
Stops. It never stops. But I appreciate that. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll put all of your contact, your socials on the post when it goes out. So all of you that are listening can get Rajen's details and follow Homie's Kitchen for great images and recipes and inspiration. And yeah, just want to say thank you again for coming on. It's great to hear about your story, and it is, like Mick's saying, it's inspirational just to kind of see. You had a moment where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to just see where I can take it. And you're smashing it. It's blowing up. I've been seeing how you've been kind of growing. So yeah, well done. And just looking forward to seeing what you do next.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
All right.
Well said, man.
To everyone listening, thank you. Please forward, share, like, give us comments, give us feedback, and we'll see you back next time. Peace out, people.
Peace out.
Peace.